Hope you blah, 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 blah. X that out. This is Dana from Dana's Health Journey. Hope you guys are doing well. It's good to have you back, and if you're new, welcome. So happy to have you with us. Today I am going to make some kombucha, and it helps with all sorts of things, but it's definitely part of our health journey. I started making it back in 2020, and we all know what was going on in 2020. I had extra time, so I learned how to make kombucha and watched lots of YouTube videos and took down notes from all the people and kind of made it my own. It seems like it doesn't take a lot of, just about a half a bottle is what I drink, and I try to drink it every day. I can definitely tell the benefits in my digestion and just the way I feel. It's full of health, like majorly full of health benefits. But anyway, here we go. Let's make kombucha. We are fixing to start on some kombucha. I like to use spring water, really. I don't use tap water because of the chemicals and stuff in it. So I don't measure this. I just pour some in. Probably 2 or 3 cups. And the tea that I use, normally I really like the taste of the green tea. There's all different types of flavors and stuff that you can get, but I really like those. And sometimes I make it with just black tea, just whichever black tea you like. But most of the time I will combine a little bit of both. I seem to get more of the fizz with this, more carbonation. I don't know why, but I do. So I usually use at least one of these and then several of these. Before I get started on that, I was going to show you my bottles. I love these. It's got the pop tops on them. I don't know if I can do this with one hand, but you seal it and then pop it shut. You just have to be sure and only fill it to the neck of it. And this one I got on, well, actually I got both of these on Amazon. They work really good. And then also we were buying a lot of kombucha, so I have a lot of the dark colored glass bottles and the white ones. And I just end up taking the labels off. And if you have trouble getting that off, a little bit of lemon essential oil will cut through that glue like it's unbelievable. So anyway, and I believe you can reorder lids on Amazon. I've never had to do that. I've never had an issue, you know, with the lid not working correctly or whatever. So anyway, this is usually my bottles that I use right here. Okay, guys. I've got 7 of these, the green teas, and then I've got 1 of the bigger black teas. I just put all my strings, well, that one's already came off. I put all my strings together and then pull the ends off, make sure there's no staples or anything on them. And then I just tie one big knot. It's much easier to get them out. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on and bring it to a boil. And then I've got my tea bags right here ready to go. We'll get our water to boiling, turn it off, and then steep our tea bags. I like to do about 20 minutes. All right, next step, got my water to boiling, or real close. I am going to take all my tea bags I tied together and drop them down in there and turn the burner off and let it set for, let's see, 20 minutes. I'm getting all my bottles out. You can see this one still has my other label on it. This is my magic bullet. This is what I use to chop up all of my fruits in. So anyway, I'm getting all this stuff out. I've got all my bottles out. Usually when I make one batch of kombucha, I can fill 7 bottles with it. So anyway, this goes with that. So anyway, I'm getting it all ready. Okay, this is done, so we are going to just take all these out. I've read some people say don't push the water out because it can make it taste bitter, but I've never noticed anything like that. And I want to get all my good tea out of there. I mean, I don't just mush it flat, but. So there's our tea. See how dark it's gotten? We're going to let it cool off. Alrighty guys, this is what I keep my kombucha in from one time to the next. I used to always try to just let it set no more than 10 days, but I have let it set up to several weeks and it does just fine. It just tastes a little stronger probably than normal, but I really can't tell anything about it. But this came off of Amazon as well. I really do like having this because you want to keep your temperature below 80. So like I've got the hot tea back here. I always let that cool really well, and if it's not cooled enough, I'll add some ice in it before I mix my scobies, which are these things that are floating in here. And a lot of people think that looks gross, but it forms across the top. Sometimes it drops, sometimes it doesn't. And I actually have a SCOBY hotel that I have had, and I know a lot of people think that's weird too, but that's where you keep all your extra SCOBYs in case anybody wanted some, or in case you happen to get mold or anything. I've never had that happen in the last almost 3 years. But anyway, you definitely want your temperature to be below 80 before you add your starter tea and your SCOBY back into your next batch of tea, which is back there. And I need to go ahead and add 1 cup of sugar into that so it'll dissolve really well. That is what feeds it. And I have to add a little bit of sweet tea to my SCOBY hotel every once in a while because you have to feed it. That's 1 cup of sugar, guys. And they say that you don't need to put anything metal in here, and I'm not real crazy about using anything wooden. I don't know. I just try to use plastic or rubber utensils to stir with. And you just want to, can you guys see? Just want to make sure that you get it all stirred up and the sugar dissolves really well, because that's what's going to feed your kombucha until you get ready to make it, which is at least a week. Okay guys, this is the one that we're going to use in half of our kombuchas. It's the mixed fruit. It kind of makes a tropical flavor. It's really good, and sometimes I have even added bananas to this. It just depends. Sometimes we want it, sometimes we rather have it just like this. But anyway, I'm going to start blending these up. Okay guys, make sure you've got your hands washed really, really well. And this is just a coffee filter with a rubber band around it. I get a clean one every time. What we're going to do now is we are going to reach down in here with clean hands and remove the SCOBY. And I'm sure a lot of people don't do it this way, but this is how I do it. Right there is our big one. Okay. And then I'm going to use my rubber spatula, spoon, whatever you want to call it, and stir this really well and get all the little sediments stirred in. And then I like to use this right here, pitcher, to do my pouring into my bottles with. So I'm just going to fill this up. And I'm also going to get 1.5 cups to 2 cups of this to put over my SCOBY. I'll just use the same one with my sugar. It'll be just fine because, and there's 1 cup. Let's go ahead and add another cup. Or, let's do 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to set my starter tea off to the side. And remember, that's what we will add to our fresh tea we just brewed. I'm going to take my mixed fruit. I've got a couple of partial bags here. I'm going to add my fruit. I usually do it about half full. So I'm going to check this one and see if I think I have 1 or 2 little strawberries, but I'd really like to have right in there. I'd really like to have another 1 or 2 to go in there with it to get some good flavor. There we go. Here's some. There's a couple more. Alright, that should be enough. Like I say, this is going to make, I usually do 4 of this flavor. Let me get that back in the freezer real quick. Okay, so that's about 3/4 full, and there's a line on here that you're supposed to keep it under. So now I just pour this in there. Then I'm going to bring you over here on the other side with me. Okay, I think you guys can see. Alrighty, let's put our lid on. I just shake it down in there really good and make sure it's all covered. Let it drain down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to divide this between these 4 here. So there's 1. There's 2. There's 3. And I really should measure these because I never get them all even, but it's very forgiving. There's the 4th one. I probably should add a little bit more to that one. There's a piece of fruit. There we go. See, this one right here is the one that's got the most. Let's do just a little bit. There we go. And that pretty much evens them all up. Alrighty. There we go. And then I'm going to pour a little bit more of this in here and get all of that juice out. Okay. And now we're going to fill our bottles, guys. I try to fill it. You're going to have bubbles. Sometimes I have to go back through and refill. But you want to go up to that little neck area because they do have pressure in them. We let these set out for 3 days once we put the fruit in here, and they do build pressure. So you need to leave a little bit of room at the top. Okay, I have to refill my pitcher here. It should be pretty close though. Looky there, guys. Pretty close. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take what's left in here and fill this the rest of the way. All I do is rinse it out with some hot water. And like I say, I will put the date on the back here. I've got some markers I bought just for that. Let's finish filling these 4 and then we're done with these. We'll wipe them up and seal them up and set them aside for 3 days. And after that, you put them in the fridge. Try to be real careful not to overfill. I just go around the very top, make sure that's nice and clean so we can get a good seal. Okay, so see how it's right about there? Even though there are bubbles, we're going to call that good. Make sure you get it sealed good, sealed good and tight. 2. There's 3, and then whoop, there's my lid for that one. Now guys, all I do is I take it and turn it up and down a few times and make sure and get all the fruit and the liquid kombucha all mixed in there. Same with these. It's pretty cool looking to watch it. Now you wouldn't want to do this too much or your bottle would not, it might blow up. I don't know, because you can see the carbonation in it. And these taste so much better than what you buy. And you can use any type of fruit. I have used apples before and used a stick of cinnamon and dropped some little cloves in it, and it was really good. I like that in the fall. Anyway, y'all see that? I'm going to move these over out of the way because those 4 are ready. Alright guys, and for our next 3 bottles, I'm going to use the dark sweet cherries. They're frozen and those are really, really good. They give it a really sweet flavor. But anyway, I'm going to make a few of these. You can do like the triple berry. We've done the triple berry frozen blend, but I think we all really prefer these. There we go. I've been a tiny bit full, but see how pretty that is? It's so good. Finish filling these 3 and then we will be done. just a little bit of headspace. And we are going to need just a tiny bit more to finish that bottle off. Make sure that we didn't make too much of a mess on these, so I think we're good. Okay. Need to go grab one of my white lids for this one. And there's that. And we're just going to make sure that they're all good and tight. You really can't see these, but we're gonna do this a couple times. Do this one a couple times. Get all the fruit and the tea mixed in together. Get it all mixed in together, and there are those. And I will bring you back and show you how to make the next gallon of kombucha that will sit for the next round. Alrighty guys, we are fixing to make this one. I'm going to add some water to the bottom in case that tea is still hot. And again, this is my spring water, not tap water. Here goes the tea that we just made. It's got the green tea and the black tea. And the sugar was mixed in with that, so we're good there. Alrighty guys, let me turn this around here. Can y'all see the temperature? Right on 78. So we can start adding all of our stuff. Let me set you back down over here where you can see. Alrighty, I'm going to add a little bit more water to this because I don't have that much starter tea. Okay, and now I'm going to add my starter tea. And that was probably between 3/4 of a cup and a cup, but that will be plenty. Okay, and then I want it about up to where the neck starts getting smaller, so I'm going to add some more water. About right there. And now I'm going to take my rubber spatula or spoon and I'm going to stir all of it together. Because you've got water, you've got your tea, and you've got your starter tea. Okay, let's let that settle down just a little bit. I'm going to add a couple pieces of ice in it too because it's climbed up to a little bit over 78 and I don't want it to hit 80. Let's drop that down in there and cool it off real quick. And while we're waiting, I'll go ahead and put our date on here. You guys can see today is April 1st. And like I said, a week to 10 days is what most people do, but I have let it go a lot longer than that, and it's perfectly fine. Oh yeah, it's dropping on down to 76 now, so we're good. As soon as the ice is gone, we will put our SCOBY in and put our coffee filter on top and be done. Alrighty, we are good to go. Start one more time. We are at 76 degrees. And we are going to, probably this little bitty thin SCOBY, I'm just gonna chunk. Let's go ahead and get all of our liquid back out, our starter tea, because that's really what does the kombucha, guys. Alrighty, and let's just lay that on the top. Wipe it off really good. Dry it. We don't want that coffee filter to get wet. Alrighty guys, we got it all cooled off. It's all dry. We're going to put our coffee filter over the top, kind of snug it down. Put a rubber band around it. Make sure nothing gets in, nothing gets out. And that is how we make kombucha, guys. Hey guys, so glad you came along with me today as we made our kombucha. I hope that maybe you learned a few things and can use it on your journey as well, because I can definitely, my whole family can. Anytime we start having any stomach issues, we think, have we had our kombucha recently? And usually the answer is no. It really, really does help with all the stomach issues and digestion and just all of it. It helps. You just have to try it to see. The taste of making your own, it doesn't even compare to what you buy in the store, because you can put the types of fruits and spices and whatever that you like in it, and it is delicious. It really, really is delicious. And there's no right way, there's no wrong way. Just make it your way. Thank you for coming along with me today. This is Dana, and thank you for being a part of my journey. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.